Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to walk you through the very first step of your form assignment, drawing your name in 1 point perspective. We're going to do this on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You are going to use pencil. Now, I already have a video on covering the basics of 1 point perspective. So this lesson is specifically tailored to using that knowledge to create your own name in 3D letter shapes. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is create our name in letters. You want to try and fill up the entire piece of paper here. What I do not want you to do is put your name up here and have, tiny little drawing here and all of this blank space. So what I recommend you do is you get a ruler and you strike a straight line, and then you strike another straight line so that you know where to fit your letters in. The next thing that you'll want to do is to break up your name into however many parts or how many pieces. So mine, I'm just going to go with Matt. I'm going to divide that by 4. And then divide it once again. There we go. So now we have the 4 sections. Now I know I want to get a little bit of space in between, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Then, using a ruler still, I would sketch in the lettering. You can do this in any style you want as long as it is shape-based lettering. So you can do something elegant if you want, as long as it has a connected shape. What I would recommend is using a ruler here for this. Then we have the letter T. Make this a little bit wider. There we go. All right, so this is basically just the outline. One of the things that you're going to discover about drawing things in perspective is that you have to work in layers. You do something really lightly, then you go back over it and keep the lines that you want. The next thing that we're going to do is create a vanishing point. So I'm going to put a vanishing point down here for 1 point perspective. So now I need to connect these shapes to this line. This will take a minute, and definitely want to use a ruler. When it comes to these letters that are very close to each other, that's where you especially want to use a ruler. Now, sometimes you're just going to want to draw right through to the corners, like I'm doing now with the letter T. All right, so you can see how I've drawn right through. Drawing through is a big part of drawing in perspective. The next thing I'm going to do is find a stopping point for my lettering. So I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to start going up vertically with the lettering. So this one's going to go up until it touches that portion right there. And then come outward like this. Once you have one letter here, what you want to do is start to go back around it and darken the line art up so that you start to know which ones you want to keep and which ones you don't. You can see right here it's getting a little bit confusing, so that's why I want to kind of darken those things up so I know exactly which ones I want to keep. Let's go here onto this letter, do the same thing, and come straight up with that until it hits this line right here, and then draw that straight across. Now remember, in 1 point perspective, the only lines that are going at an angle are the ones that are creating depth. Everything else is straight vertical, straight horizontal. Now what to do about this angle right here? So the first thing I'm going to do is strike a line from my vanishing point to this corner piece. And then I'm going to match this angle all the way down until I get to that point, the end of the lettering. And then I can draw that straight across. Let's do our last letter. So as you can see, the darker lines are starting to separate out from the perspective lines. If you want, you can then go over here with like a kneaded eraser or something like that and start erasing some of these perspective lines so that they're not as distracting. And then I might go through here and darken these up again. So that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do with your name. And then you want to stop there. In the next section, we will learn how to add value to these letters. All right, and that's it. You finished step 1 of your form assignment. Remember, this is all about structure, using perspective to turn flat letters into solid forms. You start off light and then slowly find the vanishing point and build up. All right, thanks for drawing with me. Hope you learned something.